The Plant by the Window. A true story of hope from an oncologist's notebook. There was a man named Ron. He had been a Navy officer once, the kind of man the Vietnam War had carved into something quiet and durable. He lived alone in a small country town, more than 300 kilometers from the cancer center where I worked. He had his town, his mates, and the long open sky. The first time I met him, I told him he had kidney cancer. He looked at me without flinching. "Doc," he said, "you do what you think is best for me." That was Ron. He would drive to Adelaide with his friends for treatment. They turned each visit into a small adventure, a lunch, an errand, a story to bring home. Over 3 years of good response to treatment, we slowly stopped being just doctor and patient. We became friends. Then, the cancer found his leg. Ron found himself trapped in a windowless hospital room in a city that wasn't his. No friends visiting, no sky, no country, just fluorescent light. One night, something in him broke. He shouted at the staff. They wanted to transfer him to a mental health ward. The surgeon called me. "He only trusts you. Can you come?" I went. But before I left the house, my wife handed me a small plant in a clay pot. "Take this," she said. "Give him something to look forward to." This wasn't a man with a psychiatric problem. This was a countryman starved of the two things that had always sustained him: nature and people. They moved him to a room with sunlight. I placed the little plant on his windowsill. Slowly, he healed, and eventually, he went home. Sometime later, I visited him at home. He welcomed us like we were his own. Then he stood up, walked slowly across the room, and brought something over: a pot with a plant in it, now grown, leaves wide and green and reaching. "Doc," he said, "do you remember this? This is the plant you gave me. You showed me the light." For Ron, it had become a promise that he would leave that dark room, that he would see his country town again, that there was still something ahead. In a cancer journey, the medicine matters, but so does something to look forward to: a plant, a visit, a cup of tea, something small, something living. So if you are a patient, find your plant. It only has to be yours, and it only has to be ahead of you. Never underestimate the smallest gesture. In loving memory of every patient who taught us that hope is not a grand thing, it is a small green leaf reaching toward the light.